Paratmanamekam Jagadbijamadyam Niriham Nirakaram Onkar Vedyam Yato Jayate Palyate Yena Vishvam Tamisham Bhaje Liyate Yatra Vishvam Hari Om Tat Sat Hari Om Tat Sat Hari Om Tat Sat. Dear devotees, so in the last class we had discussed what is this kshetra. Just to revise the main topic of discussion of the last class, if you remember, in the first session we saw that Sri Krishna is telling us about two dimensions of reality. One is kshetra and the other is kshetragya. The terms are very simple. One is kshetra. Kshetra literally means field. And kshetragya means the knower of the field. So one is the known and other is the knower. Two categories. This what we are referring to kshetra or the field, this is the so-called the material dimension of this entire world which we are experiencing. And the knower, he is the dimension which is of the nature of consciousness. So whatever we are seeing in this world, it is nothing but a mixture of matter and consciousness. Is it not? Each one of us, see, it's our description. Don't think that it is a description of someone else. It is our description which is going on. We are a mixture of matter as well as consciousness. But owing to a mysterious power called Maya, this consciousness has become identified with the material dimension. This consciousness is referred to by the term called aham, I. And matter is what is referred to by the term called idam or this. Now, I can never become this. This we have seen in the first and the second sessions. If you remember, we had stated this point that we need to first determine to which category does this body belong. Does this body belong to the category of aham, or does this body belong to the category of idam? This clarity has to come into our life. Presently, in our understanding about ourselves, we have taken it for granted, unquestioningly, that this body is aham, which it can never be. This is the supreme teaching of the Upanishads, of the Gita, and all the great masters. This body can never be aham, I. It is always idam, it is this. Now, this is the distinction which we have to clearly understand. The distinction between idam and aham. The distinction between kshetra and kshetragya. So, in order to have a clarity about this topic, now if you have to distinguish two things, we should know clearly what is this thing called kshetra, and later on we shall come to kshetragya. First, let us understand what this kshetra is. We have to have a complete, a sweeping view of the entire range of kshetra. This entire range, which is referred to by the pronoun this, idam. We need to have a clear understanding about what this idam is. What is its range? So in the last class, if you remember, verse number 5 and 6, two verses, Krishna described the entire range of what idam is. Means what we are not. We cannot be any of these things. So the description started with avyaktam, if you remember. This avyaktam is Maya. Everything proceeds from Maya. Yaya jagat sarvam idam prasuyate. As Shankaracharya says, jagat sarvam yaya prasuyate. This entire world which we are seeing manifested before our eyes, including our own body, sense organs, mind, everything. All this is nothing but the product of this inscrutable Shakti called Maya. It is the effect of Maya. It is Karyam, Maya Karyam. Karyam is effect, Karanam is cause. So this world, this Jagat, including all of us, we are all just the products of this strange power called Maya. From this Maya, everything starts. And the first evolute of this Maya is what? Buddhi, which is Hiranyagarbha. These are all technical terms. Maya is the causal state, and the subtle manifestation which first proceeds from this causal state called Maya is Buddhi or Mahat or Hiranyagarbha. These are all different terms used to indicate the subtle dimension, the subtle cosmic dimension. And from that Buddhi or Mahat or Hiranyagarbha proceeds Ahankara. From Ahankara comes the Pancha Tattvas, the five subtle elements. And from the five subtle elements comes the 11 organs of which we are made. What are the 11 organs? The five organs of senses, the five organs of action, and mind. These are the 11 organs. And from that proceeds the different objects which our indriyas and mind perceive, the sense objects, what we are seeing outside. Everything has proceeded from that causal state called Maya. Now, each of these items, each one is idam, it is not aham. Then Krishna spoke about the antakarana dharma, the different attributes of the antakaranam. Ichha, dvesha, sukham, dukkham, all this. We are none of these. Ichha, desire, we have seen. We are all experiencing desire 24 hours of the day. In the antakaranam, constantly some desire or the other is popping up and it is disappearing. And we are acting according to these desires. Every one is driven by these different desires which rise in the antakaranam. Is it not? Ichha. Then there is dvesha. Dvesha is hatred or repulsion. One is attraction, other is repulsion. One is like and other is dislike. This dvesha is also antakarana dharma. It is the attribute of the antakarana. Just like ichha is the attribute of the antakaranam, dvesha is also the attribute of antakaranam. Then sukham and dukkham. The sukham and dukkham, both these things, mutually opposed to each other. We don't want dukkham, we want sukham. This is the natural instinct of all the living creatures. But the sukham as well as dukkham is also antakarana dharma. That is not our true nature. So ichha, dvesha, sukham, dukkham, sanghata. Sanghata means this aggregate of the body, sense organs, and the mind. This Dehendriya Sanghata. This also is idam. This is not aham. And then finally comes Chetana and Dhriti. What is Chetana? Chetana means sentiency. This sentiency which we see pervading throughout this body-mind complex, this is also idam. And lastly, Dhriti. Dhriti means fortitude. We have seen Dhriti. Fortitude means a strange capacity in this body-mind complex through which we hold this body-mind complex together when we become exhausted or fatigued. This is the meaning of Dhriti. Something which holds this body, mind, and the indriyas together. That is called fortitude. So this is the whole range of kshetra Sri Krishna had described in the last class. Starting from Maya, coming to our own body-mind complex, and everything that we are seeing outside. This entire thing belongs to the range of idam. None of these things are aham. Maya is idam. Buddhi is idam. Ahankara is idam. Then from that comes the 5 subtle elements. It is idam. The 11 organs. It is idam. And the 5 sense objects which the organs perceive. It is idam. Ichha is idam. Dvesha is idam. Sukham is idam. Dukkham is idam. And Sanghata is idam. Chetana is idam. And Dhriti is idam. None of these things are aham. We are none of these things. This needs to be meditated upon. See, meditation also, we have to meditate in stages. When we meditate on this very topic, what I am not, it will bring about tremendous clarity in our inner life. Now we are confused about many things. We are identified with many things which we are not, and owing to which we suffer in life. Now this is the whole range of kshetram which Sri Krishna beautifully presents. Now we need to disidentify ourselves from this dimension. Unless we are disidentified with this, we shall never be understanding what is the true nature of kshetragya, which is the next subject. What was described till now, it is all kshetra. Now, what is the true nature of kshetragya? That cannot be understood unless we develop some amount of dispassion for this dimension. As long as we are completely drowned in this, drowned in the body and the sense organs, and through the body and the sense organs, we are completely drowned in the object of pleasures that we see through our sensory system. As long as we are completely drowned in this side, that man or woman will never be able to understand what is the true nature of this kshetragya, which is going to be described a few verses later. So we may talk about Ishvara, we may talk about Parameshvara, we may talk about Brahman and Atma, but the correct understanding about this reality is never going to dawn in our minds as long as we have not developed some amount of dispassion and disidentification, some degree of disentanglement with this dimension which is known as kshetra. That is why, you see, verses 17 onwards, verses 12 onwards. From the verse 12 onwards, Sri Krishna is going to describe what is the true nature of kshetragya. Till now, he has described what is kshetra. From verse 12 onwards, the description of the true nature of that kshetragya will start. But before that, from the next verse onwards, from the verse 7 to 11, these 5 verses, Sri Krishna is going to describe a group of disciplines, something which we have to put into practice in our day-to-day life. A group of disciplines, a group of certain virtues which we need to cultivate Unless we practice these disciplines. See, everywhere there is a question. কি আমরা কি করব? আমাদের কি কর্তব্য? What is our practice? We may talk about kshetra and kshetra, it's all fine. But the jiva has to do something. He has to do some practices, which is known as sadhana. Is it not? The sadhak is a person who does sadhana in order to attain that Parameshwara. So what is that sadhana? That is what is described in the verses from 7 to 11. A beautiful description. Now this group of discipline which Sri Krishna is going to present from verses 7 to 11. It's the most important portion, I would say. Because unless we focus upon this, unless our life is based upon these virtues and disciplines, no matter what books you read, no matter whatever else you may do, the talk of Ishvara, the talk of Bhagavan, the talk of Brahman, it will all just remain a talk. It will never become a matter of experience, anubhuti. Anubhuti will never come. For having the experiential understanding about that Ishvara Tattva, as Ishvara is, these disciplines are indispensable. We can't avoid it. It is only when we put these disciplines into practice in our day-to-day life, we become competent. It is a matter of competence. It is a matter of eligibility. We become eligible to have that great experience of what Ishvara is only when we put these wonderful disciplines and virtues into practice, without which it is not going to happen. So let us see what these virtues are. This is the heart of so-called a sadhaka's life. A spiritual aspirant has to focus upon these virtues. The more and more he or she cultivates these virtues, that person becomes competent. That person becomes eligible to have that experiential knowledge of that supreme reality called Ishvara. Now see, beautiful virtues. What are these virtues? I will take up each item. Every item is important. So let us go slowly. Let us enjoy this and try to understand every item in its depth. Because we have to take if we are serious about having the right understanding about what Ishvara is, then these disciplines have to be taken seriously. So Krishna is saying, Amanitvam madambhitvam ahimsa kshantirarjavam acharyopasanam shaucham dhairyam vinigraha. Verse number 7. Krishna is saying the first great discipline or virtue is amanitvam. Translated simply, it means humility. Amanitvam means humility. Amanitvam. It is the opposite of manitvam. What is manitvam? Manitvam means arrogance. Means it is a quality, manitvam, arrogance. What is arrogance? Shankaracharya in his Bhasha, he says, the tendency to always boast about oneself. You know, people are there who think too much. We have an exaggerated sense of self-importance in many of us, which takes the form of arrogance, that I am superior, I am greater, and the tendency to always boast about one's own self, boasting and thinking too much about oneself. This is what is manitvam. The absence of this is amanitvam. Absence of arrogance is amanitvam. Means humility. Now if you just look into this dangerous, devilish quality should I call it quality? It's a dangerous thing, arrogance. The outcome of arrogance in anybody's life, what to talk about spiritual life, even in worldly life, arrogance becomes the cause of ultimate downfall and destruction. You all know this. Some of the great examples which we have in our history. You take Ramayana. Ravan was the very image of arrogance. And what was the fate of that? You take Bhagavatam, Kamsa, the very image of arrogance. It all becomes the cause of ultimate destruction. Duryodhan, the very form of arrogance. It leads to complete destruction. What to talk about spiritual life? Even in simple laukika vivahara, in our day-to-day empirical dealings also, arrogance becomes the straight doorway to self-destruction. So in spiritual life especially, this absence of arrogance becomes very vital. Humility. In Narada Bhakti Sutra also, Narada says, Ishwarasya abhimani dveshitvat dainya priyatvacha. In the Bhakti Sutras, Narada, the great Narada Muni says, Ishwarasyapi abhimani dveshitvat. Ishvara also hates abhimanis. Those who are abhimani, arrogant people, Ishvara dislikes them. Ishwarasyapi abhimani dveshitvat and dainya priyatvacha. Ishvara also likes those people who are humble. So this is the first quality as far as the spiritual aspirant's aspiration to have an experiential understanding about the true nature of Ishvara is concerned. The first great discipline or virtue which he has to focus upon is the practice of non-arrogance or humility. This is a very important virtue in the sense, how do we bring about this? Why do we think that we are superior to somebody else? It is only when we don't understand that it is the same Ishvara residing in everybody. What is the meaning of humility? Humility doesn't mean that you make a show of saying that, oh, I am nobody, I am nobody. That is not true humility. True humility comes from samadarshanam. When we see the same divinity residing in everybody, we understand that we are not superior to anybody and we are also not inferior to anybody. This is samadrishti is humility. Samadrishti. Everybody is same. It is everybody is the form of God. It is same Ishvara who is residing in everybody. This samadrishti is humility. It's a wonderful quality. The second virtue is adambhatvam. What is dambha? Dambha, Shankaracharya says, dambha means constantly proclaiming or showing off one's own virtues. Dambha literally means show off, pretension. And the absence of dambha is adambhitvam. Adambhitvam means unpretentiousness, unpretending, unassuming. There are people who have great qualities, and yet they are so simple. They don't make a show off of what they have with them. They may be having great talents in them, and yet in their day-to-day vivahara, they are so unassuming and unpretentious. And the opposite of that, even a little bit something good qualities which we have, we want to make a big show of that in front of others. If you have little wealth, we want to make a show off of how much wealth we have. This quality, or should say this habit of making a show off of what we have, that is what is dambha. So absence of this dambha, absence of the show off is what is adambha, adambhatvam. Means unpretentiousness, absolutely unpretending, unassuming. Amanitvam, adambhatvam. Then comes ahimsa. Himsa we all know. Himsa is the tendency to cause injury to others. The tendency to cause pain to others. And pain can be caused in so many ways. It can be caused physically. It can be caused, more pain can be caused verbally. Even physically, you may hit somebody, that's okay. But by speaking harsh words to others, it can leave a deep, painful mark in the minds of the other people. It's very painful. Even through speech, we can cause pain to others. So, hinsa can be physical, it can be through our words, verbal, or the Shastras say that hinsa can be even mental. Even the very thought of hatred and the thought of enmity towards somebody is hinsa. Even mental thought. Of course, that's the highest ideal, where a human being succeeds in bringing about that state of mind where there is not one single wave of hatred or enmity rising in that person's mind. What a wonderful mind it should be. So this is the great virtue of ahimsa. Absence of the tendency to cause pain to others, absence of tendency to be cruel to others. Great virtue, ahimsa. So amanitvam, adambhitvam, ahimsa. Next comes Shanti. What is this Shanti? The Shanti is a beautiful virtue. Shanti literally means forbearance. When we are offended by somebody, getting offended by somebody is a part of our everyday life, is it not? In all our dealing, no, everybody faces such situations. We are often pained by somebody's remarks or somebody's behavior. This is happening. Continuously it's happening. Nobody can escape this. That is the very nature of this Vyavaharika plane. It is full of such good and bad experiences. We often get offended by somebody's behavior, somebody's speech, wrong speech. So what is this Shanti? Shanti is that capacity to forbear and forgive. Forbearance. This person will never get disturbed when he or she gets offended by somebody's behavior. Somebody's offensive behavior doesn't cause any kind of disturbance in this person. That is Shanti. Forbearance, and coupled with that, we can say the capacity to forgive. Forgive and forget. Shankaracharya in his Vivek Chodamani, he uses the word titiksha, a beautiful term, titiksha. Sahanam sarva dukkhanam apratikara purvakam. Chinta vilaparahitam. Sa titiksha nigadyate. It says, sarva dukkhanam sahanam. Sahanam. Forbearance. See, life is filled with sukhanubhuti and dukkhanubhuti. Both the things will come. Sometimes very pleasant things will come. And most of the time, unpleasant things will come. But not to become disturbed when unpleasant experiences come in our life. That great capacity of forbearance. Sahanam sarva dukkhanam. To forbear all the unpleasant experiences of life. This is a great quality. Otherwise, what happens? A little bit of unpleasant experience and we become totally derailed and disturbed. For several days, is it not? It's an experience. Somebody says something and for several days we lose our sleep. This is the common experience. This is owing to the absence of this great virtue called Shanti, forbearance. We should have the capacity, we should have the power to digest all the unpleasant experiences. Our Swami Ranganathan Ji Maharaj used to say, Ranganathan Ji Maharaj was 13th president of our order, a great sadhu, great Mahatma. He used to say, we have to be like Neelakanta Shiva. Neelakanta, the capacity to bring all the poisons. Shiva was like that. And that capacity comes because of Brahmagyan. Remember, that's another time. It is only when we know what is our true nature, it is that which gives us limitless capacity to drink all the poison of this world. So see, these are all great symbols of highest knowledge. Shiva, who is referred to as Neelakanta. Why is Kantha is Neela? Why is his throat blue? because he has drunk the poison. And that poison cannot kill him. That is, he has got the capacity to digest that poison. And that capacity to digest everything comes from Atma Jnana. It comes from Brahma Jnana. It comes from this knowledge of one's own true nature, which is possible for each one of us. More and more we come close to God, all of us will be developing this great virtue of digesting all the poisonous things that we come across in our day-to-day life. So, Kshanti. Next virtue is Arjavam. Another beautiful virtue. Arjavam literally means straightforwardness, simplicity. Opposite of Arjavam is crookedness, cleverness. So absence of crookedness, absence of cleverness, worldly clever. Everybody, nowadays we want our children to be smart and smart and smart. This is the culture of smart. Everything is smart. Smartphones, smart machines. We want our children to become smart. Smart means what? He or she should be able to get things done by hook or crook. Then that person is smart, who is a very smart boy. This is not our real culture. Real culture, our Indian culture always emphasizes simplicity and straightforwardness. Straight, simple heart, arjavam, absence of crookedness. This is a great virtue in life. This cleverness doesn't work in spiritual life. We cannot attain God by crookedness and cleverness. That is not possible. If this knowledge of that Kshetragya has to become, the heart has to be simple. There is no pretension, there is no hypocrisy in spiritual life. It is simplicity and straightforward way of dealing with others. What is inside, that is outside. What Sri Ramakrishna used to say, man mukh, act. What is inside, that is outside. There is no pretension. This is a great virtue in spiritual life. Arjavam. Then comes Acharyopasanam. Acharyopasanam means Acharya is Guru. Acharyopasanam means serving the Guru. Serving the Guru in so many ways. So tomorrow is Guru Purnima. Such a glorious day. In the human life, there is no one greater than Guru. No one greater than Guru. No one greater than Guru. The Guru is the person who brings light into our life. He brings light into our lives and dispels this ignorance from our hearts. This Guru alone can do. You may read all the books, Kathamrita, this Amrita, that Amrita. You may read by yourself. That won't work. That transmission of spiritual knowledge has to come from an agent in and through whom Ishvara's Guru Shakti works. So Guru is that person in and through whom Ishvara is Guru Shakti. Actually speaking, Guru is Ishvara himself. Satchidananda Brahman alone is Guru. Ishvara alone is Guru. That Ishvara's Guru Shakti works through a certain medium. And it is in and through that Guru Shakti, which is working through in and through that medium, that our hearts get illumined. So literally, what is Guru's function? Guru's function is to literally light the lamp of knowledge in our hearts, which Guru alone can do. No one else can do. Books cannot do. We may read books by our own self. But that transmission, the transmission of Vidya, Brahma Vidya, which is coming from Ishvara himself, it is not that human being is speaking. Guru is a person whose awareness is fixed in Ishvara. He is living in Ishvara Bodha. Again I repeat, Guru is a person who is living in Ishvara Bodha. And it is from that Ishvara Bodha that knowledge gets transmitted into the seeker. And which very clearly, unmistakably dispels the darkness which is residing in the hearts of the seeker of the truth, in the hearts of the sadhaka. So that is this function only Guru can do. Even our parents cannot do it. Nobody can do it. So no one is greater than Guru. Service to this great Guru. Guru is not at all different from Ishvara. The great spiritual teacher, Kabir. In Kabir's Doha, there's a beautiful verse. Kabir says, Guru Govind do khade. He says, Guru and Govind, both of them are standing. And he says, whom should I make pranam to? I'm forgetting the second line. Guru Govind dono khade. Kake lagu paye. Palihari Guru aapne. Ke Govind, Guru and Govind, both of them are standing in front of me. Now the question is, whom should I make pranam to first? Should I make first pranam to Ishvara or to Guru? Kabir says, I will first make pranam to Guru because it is the Guru who showed me what that Ishvara is. Without Guru Kripa, no one can understand what Ishvara is. This is our great Siddhanta in our tradition. Acharyavan Purusho Veda. Shankaracharya says, Upanishad says, Shankaracharya says, Yasmad Bandha Vimokshanam. Bandha Vimukti comes from Guru. Guru alone can help us attain that Khandana Bhava Bandhana. No books can do that. You may read books throughout the life. No. That quickening impulse has to come from the Guru. So here, Acharyopasana, this service to the Guru is another great virtue. One should practice it. Krishna is saying, all these things will help us in becoming competent to have the correct understanding of what Kshetrajya is. So, Acharyopasana. Then comes Shaucham. Very important. Shaucham literally means cleanliness. To be clean. Now, Shaucham is applicable at two levels. Shankaracharya says, the first one is physical cleanliness. We all know. This body literally speaking, this body is a abode of all dirt. We all know that. Just imagine if 2 days we don't take bath, what will be the condition of this body? Is it not? It is such a disgusting thing it is. 2 days. Why 2 days? One day you miss bath and see what will happen. It is so disgusting. It is continuously oozing out all kinds of disgusting and displeasing kind of things from this body. We have to every day keep it clean, otherwise it is a horrible thing. So every day keeping the body clean is very important, because when we keep the body clean, we gain a sense of purity. And it is only in that environment of purity that we shall begin to experience God. So physical purity is very important. What about the mental purity? That is even more important. Even the mind has to be kept clean. So what is the dirt of the mind? Shankaracharya beautifully says. Just like the body has got all kinds of dirty things in that, which is continuously coming out, and we are continuously cleaning it every day. Otherwise, what is so good about this body? It is filled with all disagreeable ingredients. Literally speaking, this physical body, it is full of disagreeable ingredients. What is so pleasant about it? There's nothing pleasant about it, actually speaking. But in delusion, we have got a fascination for this body. So we have to keep the body clean. Similarly, in the mind also, there are many disagreeable dirts accumulated. What is the dirt which is accumulated on the mind? The Shad Ripus. Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Moha, Mada, Matsarya, and Shankaracharya adds one more thing to it. Attachment, Asakti. These are the dirts. Our mind is full of this now. Just imagine, just look into our minds. Our mind is, generally speaking, if we have not done the true cleaning of the mind, then you will find human mind is filled with Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Moha, Mada, Matsarya and attachment. As long as this dirt is there in the mind, where is the question of understanding, experientially understanding the true nature of Kshetrajya? Is it possible? It is impossible. Impossible, literally impossible. So, we have to first clean this mind. Clean this mind, make this mind free from all these dirty things. Kama is desire, Krodha is anger, Lobha is greed, Mada is arrogance, and Matsarya, jealousy, attachment. These are the dirty things, and we have a very thick layer of this dirt accumulated on the mind. It needs to be cleaned. But just like cleaning for the cleaning this body, we use soap. We use soap for cleaning this physical body. Is it not? We apply soap, so all the dirty things is removed from the body. So what is the soap to be applied on the mind? Very important thing. Shankaracharya says the soap to be applied to the mind is Pratipaksha Bhavanam. Pratipaksha Bhavanam means what? Practicing the opposite of these things. So beautiful. Practicing the opposite of these things. What are these things? The dirt. The dirt is Kamana. Kamana is the dirt. And the Pratipaksha of that is what? Opposite of that. Pratipaksha means the opposite of that. Opposite of Kamana is to practice Nishkamata. Now, Krodh is a dirt. How to remove this Krodh? Practice the opposite of that. Pratipaksha Bhavana. Opposite of Krodha should be love. Similarly, each and every item we take. It is by practicing the opposite of these dirty things that mind becomes clean. So every day, just like every day we clean our physical body, this mind has to be kept constantly clean by the practice of Pratipaksha Bhavana. Then only we become competent to understand the true nature of what Kshetragya is. Otherwise, should we expect to know God with all these dirty things in the mind? It is impossible. It can never happen. So, Shaucham, Bahya Shaucham, Anta Shaucham. Both Shaucham, cleanliness, physical cleanliness as well as mental cleanliness. Both these things are equally important. Then comes Sthiryam. Sthiryam means Thirata, means steadfastness on the path of spirituality. To remain steadfast, Thirata, Sthiryam, to steadfastly pursue this great knowledge of Ishvara. This is a great quality which we have to cultivate. Presently, we may have some curiosity about what Upanishad is talking about. Many people, they come to learn about Upanishads and Gita. For 1 or 2 weeks they will be there and then they will disappear. Then their interest is gone. Means superficial curiosity about spiritual matters, that won't work. The true sadhaka is a person who has got sthirata. He is steadfast in his pursuit of self-knowledge. This should be there. Not that we are interested in this only for maybe 1 or 2 hours. After going from here, we are drowned in all of the matters. No. A true sadhaka, one who wants to understand the true nature of Kshetragya, he will be a person who will be steadfast. Steadfast means not deviating. Not deviating from this great pursuit of self-knowledge. Continuously, 24 hours, his mind, his body, everything is focused upon this great pursuit of self-knowledge. Sthiryam. And then comes Atma Vinigraha. Atma Vinigraha means complete control over the body, mind, and the sense organs. Presently, as we lead our lives, we have not practiced this Atma Vinigraha. Atma Vinigraha means complete self-mastery or self-control. Control over the body, organs, and the mind. If we don't see this body, organs, and the mind, they are programmed in such a way that they are programmed to always run in all directions. Is it not? The body, the senses, and the mind. The very programming is such that it is always scattered in all the directions. Now, a spiritual aspirant's main task is that He has to keep the body, mind and organs focused towards that Ishvara which is residing in the heart. That is complete self-control, not letting the body, organs and the mind getting scattered in the world. Means complete mastery over the body, organs and the mind. This is what is known as Atma Vanika. Then next verse. Indriyartheshu vairagyam anahankara evacha janma mrityu jara vyadhi dukkha doshanudarshanam. Extremely beautiful point. What is that? Indriyartheshu vairagyam. Vairagyam, dispassion. Dispassion for what? Indriya artheshu. To all the pleasurable sense objects. So this world is full of all kinds of so-called pleasurable sense objects. The objects of our sense organs, which seems to be giving us pleasure. And we are all totally deluded by this. Everybody is chasing these different objects, sensory objects of pleasures. Everyone is unstoppingly, unceasingly pursuing and chasing these different objects of sensory pleasures. And this is going on. This is the very nature of this life, is it not? Everybody is running. Look at this whole world. Not only human beings, animals, every living creature is running and running and running and running. Running, driven by the pleasure instinct, driven by the idea that the objects can give us pleasure and satisfaction. This is one of the biggest delusion that human beings live with. So, vairagya, dispassion for this. Why? A Viveki understands very clearly that these objects which appear to be so pleasing, so pleasurable, so seductive, so tempting, actually speaking, these objects are all dukkha yoni. Sri Krishna says in the 4th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. All these objects are nothing but dukkha yoni. Dukkha yoni means the very source of dukkham. All these objects of pleasures, they will give us pleasure initially, but it will end up only in dukkham and emptiness and frustration. So look into our own experiences. Let us just examine our own experiences throughout our life, whatever we have experienced. All the objects of senses which we have experienced, have these objects fulfilled us till now? We are trapped by the seductive and tempting nature of these objects. Shankaracharya in his Vivek Chodamani, he says, objects in Sanskrit means what? Vishayam. And he says, this Vishayam is nothing but Visham. Visham means poison. They are actually speaking. Vishayas are actually nothing but Visham. They work like poison. We don't understand this part. They trap us. We are bound by it. That is how we are all bound. So, Indriyartheshu vairagya. To have dispassion for the objects of so-called sensory pleasures. Anahankara evacha. Anahankara, it's very simple. Absence of egotism. Not to have egotism. The next point is very beautiful. Janma, Mrityu, Shara, Vyadhi, Dukkha, Dosha Anudarshanam. Dosha Anudarshanam. Constantly seeing dosha. Constantly seeing dosha. Constantly seeing evil. Evil in what? See evil in Janma. Evil in Mrityu. Evil in Jara. Evil in Vyadhi. Evil in Dukkham. Everything is evil. Janma is Dukkham. Mrityu is Dukkham. Jara is Dukkham. Vyadhi is Dukkham. Sarvam Dukkham. In one of his bhashya he says, right from the time we are born till we go to the cremation ground, and all the different stages which we go through, Janma Dukkham, Balyavastha dukkham, Yauvanam dukkham, Vardhakyam dukkham, Mrityu dukkham, Sarvam dukkham. Where is Sukham here? For a Viveki, it is very clear. This cycle of birth and death, this cycle of birth and death which is going on endlessly, what Shankaracharya beautifully talks about in his Bhajagovindam Stotram. Unarapi jananam, unarapi maranam, unarapi janani jathare shayanam. Iha samsare aludustare kripaya tare mahim. God, O Ishvara, please take me out of this endless cycle of Janma and Mrityu, which is going on. Unarapi janani jathare shayanam. How many times we have entered into the womb of the mother. Again, we come out of the womb of the mother. Again, we then die one day. And in between birth and death, we have all these different stages. And every stage, actually speaking, is dukkham only. Where is sukham here? Only an aviveki sees sukham here. For a viveki, it is very clear. Everything is fraught with dukkham only. There is no sukham here. Shankaracharya in his Bhashya, in his Ishavasya Upanishad Bhashya, he says, Iha sansare sukhasya gandha matramapi nasti. In this world, there is not one drop of sukham anywhere. That is the vision of the rishis. How true it is. Bhagavan Buddha says, Sarvam dukkham, Sarvam kshanikam, Sarvam shunyam. Bhagavan Buddha. Sri Krishna says, Dukkhalayam ashashvatam. What is this? It's on anityam, asukham, imam lokam prapya bhajasvama. Krishna says in the 9th chapter, if I'm correct. Anityam, asukham lokam. This lokam is asukham. Where is sukham here? Only a foolish man sees sukham here. For a wise man, he sees very clearly from birth till death. It's all a continuous experience of bondage. Bondage itself is dukkham. We are bound here, hand and foot. That itself is dukkham. So, this great insight, anudarshanam. Anudarshanam means to see deeply and see the defective nature of every item here. Janma, Mrityu, Jara, Vyadhi. Vyadhi. What about Jara? Jara means old age. Old age. Everybody has to face old age. It is going to come. Those who are young here, they're not going to remain young forever. Everybody has to come to this old age. Old age is a time when the body is weak. Sense organs have lost its vigor. We lose our memory. We lose our intelligence. And it is the very plan of Prakriti that the old person is set aside. It is dukkham. And everybody has to face the situation. Everybody, Prakriti itself will set that old person aside. All of us. No one is exempted from this. It is going to happen. As young, we don't understand. But it is only a matter of time. Old age will come. The body will break down. Senses will stop working. We lose our intelligence. We lose our memory. And the old person, the Prakriti itself, sets it aside. That is the very plan of this nature. In a garden, a freshly bloomed flower is the center of attraction for everybody. And it is only a matter when the flower begins to wither away, then no one looks at the flower. It's gone. And other flowers are blooming there. That is the very plan of nature. Young people come, old people are set aside. And those who are young today, they become old. They are set aside. Another group of young people are coming. This is continuously going on. Dukkham, dukkham. All this youth, beauty, everything is just for 2 days. It will all go away. It is all dukkham, dukkham, dukkham. This is all kshetram. What the description is being given, this is all happening when we are identified with kshetram. If we are identified with what we are not, this is the fate of that person. It will be dukkham and dukkham alone. So, janma, mrityu, jara, vyadhi, dukkha, dosha, anudarshanam. Anudarshanam means that deep insight into the experiences of the life, starting from birth till death. Everything is fraught with dukkham. For a wise person, it is so clear. He doesn't have. But this is how we have to develop a sense of dispassion for this kshetra. Now, today we shall stop here. There are three more verses which will be telling another beautiful virtues and disciplines which we have to focus upon, which we shall pick it up next class. So just to revise, wonderful qualities which we have to focus upon, and this is what we have to take very seriously. What are these virtues? Humility, unpretentiousness, non-injury, forbearance, straightforwardness, service to the Guru, cleanliness, steadfast on the path of self-knowledge, control of the body and the organs, dispassion with regard to the objects of senses, and absence of egotism, seeing evil in birth, death, old age, disease, and miseries. So these many things which we have seen. We shall see there are another three more verses which will be focusing upon some more beautiful disciplines and virtues which we shall take it up in the next class. Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Tat Sat.